We're always here for you.
Welcome back to the Tech on Toast podcast, the home of hospitality tech, stories and the people shaping our industry. Before we dive into today's episode, we've something rather special to share. This week marks the release of Always Open at Christmas, a brand new charity single created by our very own hospitality community and choir. Written by me and brought to life by an incredible mix of operators, suppliers and friends from across the industry, the track celebrates the people who keep hospitality open, welcoming and full of heart at the busiest time of year. All proceeds go directly to Hospitality Action, supporting workers and families who need a helping hand. We recorded it in just 72 hours with volunteers who've never sung before, but who showed up with passion, generosity, and the unmistakable hospitality spirit. So as you listen today, we'd love you to stream it, share it, and help us spread the message. We are always open at Christmas. And before we get into this week's show, you can download the single at thehospitalitychoir.org or check it out on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or wherever you get your music. Please help us. We're really trying hard to give people a great Christmas this year. Have a lovely Christmas yourselves from all of us at Tech on Toast and enjoy the show.
We resell everything from Microsoft to Zoom and everything in between. Bring consumer-grade technology into the workforce, right? Like, brilliant setup.
It's such a cool thing to get to. They can't get in.
It's
like a little carrot.
Totally. Here's the carrot, but actually, you've got to go through the maze of access with their process.
Actually, sometimes you've just got to find a way, innovate, and kind of go find your own path.
What we've done is built Connect, which is gives identity and access to every frontline and distributed worker, and our aim is to give them access to the tech that they need to do their job. You click and you just access to book a holiday, to schedule your shift, to swap a shift for someone.
It's no coincidence that the best brands have the best retention, right?
But they started off with 30% adoption across like their learning platform, their shift platform, and now they're up to 98%.
Client tech is the best tech. Welcome to the next episode of the Tech on Toast podcast, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Regan Collins, CEO of Coentric. Regan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
And we have to be really honest, you've stepped in here today. We had you due to have a podcast at some point, but due to December and everyone feeling like they're having a week off, I think.
Yeah. No.
I appreciate you coming along.
No
and before we get into the product a bit and you, where are you from originally? Because I just offended you massively.
Yeah, you did, saying I was Australian. It is actually a trick. You should always say to someone, are you from New Zealand, I assume, because it's a compliment to an Australian. And then,
I should start the other way around, shouldn't I? Yeah.
No, so I'm from New Zealand. I've been living in the UK now for 15 years.
Oh, I see. You're pretty much...
Yeah.
In London?
Yeah, London.
Right, okay.
Yeah, pretty local now.
I think we'd all rather swap. I'd rather live in New Zealand, I think.
It's just a time zone problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because I was mentioning a friend of ours is over there, and we have to have calls at 8 p.m. with him and stuff, which is really antisocial.
It is.
What's that, 8 a.m. your time then? Is it literally...
it's 12 hours.
Wow.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit how you got to Coentric. So have you always been in tech, or have you...
So I've always been in tech, yeah. So moved to the UK, have been worked for Vodafone for a really long time, broke away from there, started what is Coentric now in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've always been a Microsoft partner, so we resell everything from Microsoft to Zoom and everything in between. So big sellers of like WorkVivo and a lot of the communication tools that go with it.
Which is topical, right? Because obviously Meta is about to... Well, is it next year it's closing down?
So they're closed. They closed in September. Yeah, it's all finished.
I thought it was 2026.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
Oh, wow.
Well, so it's gone into read-only. So read-only until August next year, I think it is. So, yeah. But it's gone in terms of you can't bring new users on or any of those things.
I think I don't know if you can tell me if I'm right. I was quoted there was 500,000 hospitality workers or something like that on it.
Yeah, I think there might have
maybe not this year, but 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, I think there might even be more, to be honest. I mean, it was quite revolutionary to bring Facebook type, software into hospitality space, and it got lapped up, right? Like hotels, restaurants loved it. I think what they have done for the good is opened the market, and everyone loved it as well, which is part of a problem that we see now, which is I think that comms historically for an old person like me who's been around the industry for a long time has been shit. Really, like it's been really bad, and it's not through anyone's fault per se. But as you say, no one's really shone a light on it until that point. No. I remember Yapster. I don't know if you've heard of Yapster. Yeah, no, Yapster.
So they were like early doors back before the pandemic happened. And I remember Rob Lydiard was involved in that. And I remember they were kind of trying to test the waters, but a lot of the scheduling platforms have comms platforms within them, but no one's really grasped it until that happened. And the feeds were fantastic, right, over the pandemic, seeing everyone making cocktails and making food. So. It was ace, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ace, and I think they coined things as well. Like you can actually improve process and productivity and things with comms. So it might be that I remember Honest Burgers using Workplace for voting on burgers and the quality of them. So the chefs would actually have a competition, and then the quality of the burgers increased over time. So whilst it was a full comms platform, I think it was able to sort of increase, productivity.
And I think that captive, because of the pandemic, right, and everyone was sat at home or wherever they were, that captive audience really showed off the ability to use the tech as well, as in the usability of the tech.
Exactly.
Because I think when you're remote and you kind of, I was talking to a friend who works for a pizza chain, and he was telling me using his remote comms platform is more difficult on the road for him, but in office it's great, and the guys really like it.
Right, that's true.
I think that still seems to be a bit of a conundrum.
Yeah, and I think Facebook mobile first built, right? So that's the whole thing. So finally, some tech is in the hand of frontline employees.
Crazy, hey?
Yeah, and I think it was that has been the shift. Bring consumer grade technology into the workforce, right? Like frontline workers, a lot of them are young, so they're used to using Snapchat and all the things, right?
Yeah.
So why try and force something that's actually designed for
they're not going to take
workers,
it, right?
And they're not
I've got 3 kids. They're not interested.
No, they're not.
And before I get too deep into this, give us your best pitch for Coentric. Obviously, you've been going since 2015.
Yeah.
But what does it do, and who are you helping?
Yep, great. So Coentric itself, so as I say, massive reseller of the Microsofts, the Zooms, WorkVivo, etc. What I'm here more to talk about today is we spotted a problem in the market though. Like you can give everybody all the best tools on the planet, but actually they need access to those tools. And we were Workplace from Meta's largest partner in the UK and Europe at selling that product. But what we noticed along the way is that when you go to a frontline heavy workforce, and actually they don't have a Microsoft email address, they don't have want to use their personal information to actually put into access tools, and actually they want to access more than just the comms tool. They need to access their shifts, their scheduling and all those things. So what we've done is built Connect, which is gives identity and access to every frontline and distributed worker, and our aim is to give them access to the tech that they need to do their job, but also from day one. So what we often see as well is that people get access to tech, but they arrive at work and then 3 months later they go, oh, you should actually have access to a couple of these tools and things that will help you do your job. So yeah, we really saw that gap in the market, and that's where connectors come from.
That's a huge thing, right? I think we used to call it 0 to 90 days. I'm sure it's still referred to as that. There used to be a measurement, a metric that we used to get beaten around the head with when I was an operator. Be like, Chris, your 0 to 90 is 400% or something. I'm like, that's not very good. Right. So I turned my teams 4 times in the first 90 days of new starters. But it wasn't uncommon, right? It was. No. I think we soon found out it was an industry-wide problem because of that issue, right? Yeah. And no one's really, I don't know what you're going to tell me, but Connect is helping give, I suppose, I called it one front door, I suppose, to accessing all of your apps. Or all
it's
of
one
your
front door. I mean, the other problem we see is exactly that, right? You can log in and you can be chatting and you can have comms, but you've got to be able to access like your HR system for leave. Like we see, there's so many cool applications out there now, right? We see tipping apps. We see, and you know this much better than me. And what's on the market?
145 of them on the market.
Right. So there's 145 of those, and we've integrated with all the top ones we think at the moment. But that is the key. One front door to be able to access absolutely everything you need to do your job. Yeah. And from that comes not just a feeling of belonging, but actually productivity, right? Because then you click and you just access to book a holiday, to schedule your shift, to swap a shift for someone. But people are, I think one of the other problems we see is that you can't expect a comms platform to be everything. People are out there building the best shift platforms on the market for a reason, right? And hospitality and tech should use those, but you've got to make sure you've got the access right to be able to get them. So we see so many times that, like a hotel chain I'm working with at the moment, they started off with 30% adoption across like their learning platform, their shift platform, and now they're up to 98% because they put Connect in, because the frontline users couldn't actually access those applications.
That's insane.
It's insane.
I mean, I know I'm not trying to resell your product for you here, but like that shift is insane, right? Because the adoption and then the follow-on benefits of that, which I haven't got any hair to pull out anymore, so I can't get frustrated anymore. But it's just annoying when I hear that, because I'm like, why isn't that being grasped by more of the market? Is it just a knowledge thing or a pace thing? Why do you think we're not moving quickly.
Yeah, I think people don't know what's possible, right? Because what happens is you fall back to the traditional players in the market. So if you talk to a traditional IT person, I must say in hospitality, in hotel chains and so forth, IT usually are a bit more adaptable and they are forward thinking. But if you get a traditional IT person, they'll say, hey, why don't we use Okta, or why don't we use Microsoft accounts? And I mean, I've got a whole list of reasons as to why not. And one of them, but one of the main ones is, and this is where the product came from, is that it can take you about 12 steps to actually activate a Microsoft account and then get access to the tools. And I've been with frontline workers and you say, hey, just activate your account. And they get to step 4 and they're like, I'm out. Like, how important really is this? I'll just use WhatsApp.
Honestly, right. Yeah. Remember Teams when Teams came in? And I remember I still have a Teams account that I cannot unlock.
Totally.
I mean, maybe I'll ask you afterwards to help me. But I've got, and I can't be the only one, right? And I'm quite savvy with my tech. I cannot do it. And I think we've made it, or we were making it so difficult. And often the product's great once you get to it. Yeah, exactly. It's just getting to it. And I think losing passwords, this is a transient workforce. So I think...
I talked to a hotel client the other day and the lady, I was on the phone with her and I explained what the product does and everything. And she said, are you joking? Can you actually take that whole joiners, movers, levers process away from me? And I said, yeah, I can. And she turned her camera for me and showed me like a A4 piece of paper. And she had all the generic passwords for all of the sites of her hotels. She said, if someone rings up and says I can't access something, I just give them out these generic passwords. I mean, no, but like it is funny, but it's also
I'm laughing,
so crazy.
But I know it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
People have it on their phones. I mean, there was a point before all the tech around passports and onboarding that people had. I used to have passport photos in a drawer in my office. Right? How illegal is that? I was like, people smuggling when I was at Hard Rock Cafe. No offense, Hard Rock, but I wasn't. But what have been? I suppose there must have been some learnings about what's actually broken. And what we talked a little bit about there, what you're fixing, and you've got great experience, obviously, for the last 10 years, bumping into these things. What's getting in your way most?
I think on the first part there, what's broken is like we do surveys, and because one thing with this product is which we're building it as much as we can with the customer, right? Like I absolutely love the frontline workforce, and it's a personal passion. Like if you can unlock those frontline workers and show them that they can have a career, and you can actually do that by giving them access to the tools, right? Like get them to actually use the learning management platform and get on and actually learn that actually there's a head office and you can go and work in the marketing team and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's partly what is broken. Like you can't. You need to give them those tools so that you get all those benefits back. But I think the other thing that's broken is a little bit back to my other point, which is like when we do the surveys, we find stats like only 23% of a frontline workforce feel connected to the actual organisation. They don't really know that what they're part of, right? And we need to unblock that. And I think all of those stats are part of the problem. But there's a real tech problem there, and I think it comes back to falling on. Someone will say, oh, we've got to give the frontline workers access, and they just choose one tool, like it might be the shift tool, and they go, don't worry, they can swap their shift now because we've used a Microsoft account and it cost us $1 gazillion, but IT go, don't worry, job's done, it's perfect. But then you go down to the front line and they're like, how do I get in there again?
What are you talking about?
What do I do? Not to mention that what else is broken is like, I'm talking to a large sort of grocery chain at the moment, who've had a bit of a hack, and there's a problem there, right? Like it is about security as well. If you're handing out passwords and usernames to frontline workers and expecting them to access it, A, they lose it. B, it's just a huge security risk.
I think it's a huge. And Mitz and David were here last week talking about that. Some of the reasons they work with particular tech firms.
Yeah, right.
And actually, I was saying, why don't you work with these smaller guys that have got agility and that can grow with you, and that they're very much open to that. I think. Yeah, great. And I think that's shifted, hasn't it, over the last 10 years? I think. Yeah. And you're talking about some of the behemoth type tech suppliers that you've worked with, actually, like the Microsofts of this world, that actually people are slowly realizing there is a way actually to work around that and find products that can fit into us and work with them as I think before we've kind of been square peg round hole.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think we look at the big players, right? Like Okta's a massive player in this market, but we've got another client, and I think I mentioned it before, it's a 12-step process to get their frontline users online.
Just to get them onto the product?
Just to get them onto that one app they want them to use for comms. And do you know what the other thing that really frustrates me is they're trying to give them access as well to a share buying scheme. Like they've got the most brilliant setup.
It's such a cool thing to get to. They can't get in.
It's like a little carrot. Totally. Here's the carrot, but actually you've got to go through the maze of access with their process to try and get, and it just makes no sense, right?
No, I think we've called it that. It doesn't make sense. And I think on the benefits, because the benefits are probably obvious. I love that stat you just gave. I think it was 30 to 90%. And I think what are you seeing apart from, I suppose, removing some of that friction? What else are you seeing in terms of the benefits for some of the clients you've worked with?
Yeah, so there's huge benefits. So we see the adoption across all platforms, right? So that means that if you've got a learning management system, for example, and it's got low adoption, we can actually push that right up. And actually what that means is increased training for your frontline employees, but also increased productivity. So we've got another stat, I think it's about productivity increases by about 22% when your frontline employees actually have access to the tools they need to use, right? Which is common sense, because if they don't have access to it, they can't do it. Yeah. So we see that. I mean, I've also got some that pull on the heartstrings a little bit, like a connected organisation. We found an organisation, they're actually in Italy, that we're working with, and head office was like, oh, we've got loads of great frontline employees. They're really dedicated to our brand. And then we found that there was a frontline family of 5 generations that have been working inside this hospitality.
Typical Italian, but yeah.
And head office were like, wow, that's an amazing story. But actually, what that's done to the org is showing that, oh my God, people love our brand. They've used it publicly to go out and be like, hey, our brand's amazing. People's, families of generations work inside us. So a connected org, like I could talk for hours about the benefits that come with that. But
I was about to say, because I think for me, we were just talking off camera before we started about, and you were asking me how's the budget gone down with pretty badly. And I think I was also saying that actually sometimes you've just got to find a way, innovate, and go find your own path. And I think pulling levers, putting prices up, all this kind of stuff, actually looking at technology, but in a very different way, looking at it in... You've got all these great apps, and all these people are good, right? All of these tech guys, the tech is good now.
It is great.
Yeah, and just accessing it, unlocking it a bit, which is what you're doing for me, and I call it sweating your tech, getting a bit more, getting a bit more out of it without paying more.
Yeah, that's good.
Which seems
100%
obvious.
And the other thing we see quite often is that people have all the right tech, and sometimes they have too much tech. So because
that's the thing.
Yeah, because it's quite common, right? You go, I've got a problem, I'll get a piece of tech to fix it.
Yeah.
And actually, when we go in and we do like a sort of a digital discovery of all the tools you've got, quite often it can pay for itself, right? Because you can take out a couple of things that you don't need. Like we've added a small engagement layer onto Connect with like a WhatsApp style chat, and sometimes that's enough for a frontline org, right? Get them off WhatsApp, get all that information stored inside your org so that you own it, and then you're off, right? So you can save that cost by looking at what you're using in the tech stack and what you don't need.
And have you always been in hospitality, or do you work across different industries? You mentioned
when we started out, we were obviously with workplace, so we did have a lot of office-based organisations, but our sweet spot really is frontline. So we've got a manufacturing company in Ireland. They've got 22,000 people that do food manufacturing globally, and we go right down to smaller companies like Caravan Restaurants are an amazing client of ours.
Very cool.
The White Company on the high street, I always love mentioning
Grace
them.
Grace is a big fan of Caravan, yeah.
Is she?
Yeah,
right.
We do all our events there, but big shout out to them.
Yeah, we love the Caravan guys. So lots of different varied customers in the space, and very heavy on frontline because it's such a problem, right? Like I think we've built tech for so many years in the enterprise level, and we've gone, we'll just push it out to the frontline, and we'll make something else that works for the frontline. My personal mission is to swap that round, right? Yeah. Like frontline workers should be treated in the same way as your desk-based workers. I remember having a conversation with the CEO of Kerry Foods in Ireland, who are obviously, they've got a lot of desk-based workers as well. But the CEO said to me one day, Regan, I would love it if the future CEOs came from the front line, but I actually have no way of connecting with the front line. And that's massive to me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you go out to most of these hospitality orgs, that's what they want as well. Yeah. The good operators and the good CIOs and CEOs want those frontline staff to work their way through the business and be the next leaders and the next one. So they need to give them access, and it's not just about giving them access. Like we used to give them access to workplace, and that's great.
Yeah.
They can communicate, but what they need access to is all of the other ways that you can progress through the org, right? Like where is my learning coming from, or how can I contribute to the company employment scheme for leadership?
And I think I was joking about this with a friend at dinner the other night, saying actually it's no coincidence that the best brands have the best retention, right?
Totally.
I mean, it just makes more sense, and they're saving money because no one's leaving, and they're getting recruited through promoted through the business.
100%.
And I think back in my days, I think 60% of my role was about retaining people, keeping them coming through. But we had to do it all manually, right?
Yeah.
So we had all the things you're talking about there. That was down to me or my personality or the GM's personality, encouraging people up through the business. Now those people still exist, but they need help now because I think it's a very different workforce. Yeah, and I'm interested to know how quickly. So if I join up today and I've got 100 sites. That'd be good, wouldn't it? How quickly would Connect How quickly will I see that movement? Say if I'm sitting at 30, how quickly can you see it, or are you going to tell me how long's a piece of string?
No, it's almost overnight, right? So there's a piece of work. So we're integrated with a lot of the HR systems. So Sona, Forth, all the big players in the market. And what happens is you just update your HR system in the same way that you would for any new joiner coming on. Hopefully you've got that sort of automated and those sort of things. But then from then on, nothing needs to happen, right? So access is given to all of the apps, and they need to do their job straight away. They can either open the app, or some organisations already have a way.
Yeah, explain how that works. So if I'm an employee, what does it look like? What do I access from mine? Is it an app, or am I on something else?
Yeah, so there's two options. So we have our own app. So Connect comes as an app. You can download it in the App Store. And then what you would see is inside there's an app centre, and that might have all of the apps you need to do your job, right? So you might see Maypal, you might see Rota Ready, whatever you need to do your job will be in there. Then you can chat inside there as well. And there is a consumer-facing app, and a lot of orgs choose to do that. Some orgs go, do you know what? I just want them to single sign into all the apps they need, and we'll put them into a folder. And so we just power the single sign-on. So a customer said to me the other day, I love Connect. I never see it, but it just does everything for me. So there are those...
Quiet tech is the best tech.
Totally. and it can be really quiet tech, right? You can just have it running in the background and then connected to your HR system, and
that's very cool. And I think, and then once I'm in there and I can see all my, so if I'm a waiter, I can see my my schedule, I can see my training, I can see whatever, I suppose my learning path, like you said, so I know how to better myself. And is that and you're saying that's like literally overnight the switch on, and then they're into the moment, and all of a sudden then you're all the dots are joined up.
Yep, all the dots are joined. And I think the other thing worth pointing out is for a frontline worker, we just have one QR code for the whole org, right? So if you're a restaurant chain, we can put the QR codes up, they scan that QR code, they create themselves a password, and then they've got access into everything. So everything.
Only 2 steps? What's wrong with you?
I know. Sometimes I do feel
like you're missing 10.
I feel like Santa this year, right? But yeah, I am missing 10. But I think that's why we built it, right? Because you can't expect frontline workers to go on and use these tools if it's complicated. So yeah, they just go through that simple process. The other bit that I really love is, and IT people say this to me all the time, they always go, oh, what if they lose their phone? Because it happens all the time. I'm like, we'll just scan the QR code again, you go through the same process, and then they get up and running. Another one, I do think there's an admin side to Connect as well, right? So an IT leader, where obviously you can't do a podcast without saying AI, can you?
And I don't think we've got through one yet, so thanks.
Oh, okay, good. Here you go. Here's an AI, but it's, I guess at the back end as well, it's like running reports so that you can see. We find hospitality chains, they might have like a site that gets a lot of people losing their phone, or a lot of people do password resets and that. So IT can go and investigate that and see what the problem is. Is there a security risk?
Can you also see the levels of that happening as well? Potentially? Yeah. So like if 80% of the workforce all of a sudden are losing passwords, you've got you need to rehire the workforce.
Yeah, get a new workforce.
They're just not right.
Yeah.
They're all my misses, basically. Loses passwords on a daily basis. Yeah. I'm offending people for fun today. And what happens next? So, because I suppose the temptation for you is to do more, right? Because at the moment, you bring all these brilliant. I'm sure you're a popular partner in the tech space.
Yeah, we are.
Because you're kind of engaging what they've built to a wider audience.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens next? Do you build out more, or do you develop Connect more, or do you kind of stay in your lane?
Yeah, no, so we are developing Connect Out more. Like I say, it's got an engagement layer on it now, so we do replace WhatsApp inside organisations. In terms of, we will always focus on identity and access management, right? And as the consumer-grade technology is lifting as well around AI and everything, we're moving as well. So just a little snippet of the future for us. So face recognition is a big one for us.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of hospitality clients, they still do kiosks and things, right? Yeah. Not everyone has a personal device, and so we're working with Microsoft on how we can do facial recognition.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, so you can walk up to a kiosk, like an iPad, it unlocks, you do your scheduling and all your shifts and everything, and then you walk away and it locks again. So that's big. We've got a US manufacturing client working with us on that at the moment.
Very quickly, I was talking to Dojo. I was at Dojo's head office last week, and they just got back from China.
Right, yeah.
I think he was head of development, and he was talking about how facial recognition is everywhere there.
Yeah.
In fact, almost, because when you go there, you almost have to prep yourself to visit China, otherwise you can't pay.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to do some prep before you can go. And I did ask him, how long do you think Big Brother will worry about facial data and all this recognition.
Right.
But it's coming, isn't it? I think it's
it
definitely
is. Yeah, we're seeing it now, and Microsoft's got a solution for it. I think one thing for us is like AI is great. AI is amazing for the back end, right? So we're going to help IT, HR. Like we'll give them the best reports they've ever seen, and people are doing that. Take out the best reports,
the best report you've ever seen.
But and take out all of those manual tasks, take away the manual stuff, and that's what AI is good at for right now, right? It's a different story in 5 years. I think we'll see people booking restaurants and things using ChatGPT, and it will probably tell them where to go. And there's a whole new.
It blows my mind where it's going to go. I think everyone's using ChatGPT as a search engine, right?
Yeah, they are.
Google is
now
must be sitting there, or Gemini's taken over, but whatever.
Yeah,
but
totally.
it is interesting. And for you just mentioned then the back end for AI. I'm quite interested in your thoughts on the front end, because I do think that we're not there yet, right? That there's stuff still missing. Where do you think that's going to go over? I'm moving away from Connect a little bit, but
I guess this is where Connect's going as well, right? So for us at the front end, people are going to start using AI in their personal life a lot more, right? So the frontline workers, hotel workers, are going to expect the same experience from their company app that they will from their personal life. So where we see it going is there'll be one AI interface at some point where you can access all those apps. So what we've already developed is, instead of you having to go in and open all of the different apps and find out what you need to know, we've created a panel which just gives you what you need to know, right? So it might say, hey, you've got 3 days leave remaining this year, why don't you take them? Or, hey, Sally would like to swap 3 shifts with you this week. So you've just got that all in one place.
Will you get a nudge then? Will I get a nudge telling me that? That's
You'll
so
get a
cool.
notification
That's
to say,
cool. It's the same with learning, right? You haven't had an appraisal in 4 months' time to have one.
Yeah, and that's the other way we're pushing these rates up, right? So it's okay to give them access, but then you've got to give them a nudge, because it's sometimes not the sexiest. Yeah, totally.
No, but I think that's part of the problem, that we're taking from a human responsibility of an area manager remembering on a spreadsheet to tell Debbie in Dorchester that she's got to have an appraisal. It
100%.
just doesn't happen, and it never has. And everyone blamed managers saying they didn't care. It's not they didn't care.
No.
It's just the chef was sick, so nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know, so something else.
Yeah, great.
The shiny thing came past me. I got distracted. You know.
Yeah.
So having those nudges, I think is that I can see how that really drives that engagement rate up. And what about surveys and stuff like that? I'm really digging now.
Yeah, so we do surveys and polls and all those things, and they're really invaluable, right?
Yeah.
So, it's got the ability in the engagement side of the platform to do a poll or a survey. We recommend they get pushed out like once every 3 months, and we recommend nowadays just do really short ones. So it might only be 3 questions, but get a pulse of what's going on inside the org. And if you think about, like before when I was talking about, you could take out some other tools, people are paying a lot for like survey tools and those sort of things, right? But you don't, nowadays you've got to look twice at that.
Yeah,
right?
I think there's a lot of education to be done around what's one of the reasons we exist, right? To do what we're doing now. But education, because a lot of time people only hear what they hear from their mates, colleagues in the industry, or they're at a conference, they chat to their mate. And if that's not a great experience, then obviously that person they're talking about is getting into the service. And actually, I think you need a rounded view. You need to understand what it looks like in real life. That's why we say to people, demo as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to commit to. I think people are scared of committing to. Yeah. In the past, there's probably been some.
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of selling? Interesting Dick Turpin type selling.
Yeah, totally.
But I think just demo as much as you can, right, and really learn. And what happens with you guys then? So if I come to talk to you, and do I have to plug anything in to get some kind of demo, or can I?
So we can give you a trial.
It must be difficult, right? Because if you're not connected to
it depends which HR system you've got, right? Like I say, we've got a whole list already integrated, and then we've got a whole list of endpoints already integrated. So we've integrated to like the WorkVivos, the staff bases, the ZenApps, and all those ones on the other side, and also all of the HR systems on the other side, so in terms of information feed. Yeah, so if you're already integrated, then we can set you up straight away. What we are finding now is most modern tech, like HR platforms and endpoints, do have really good APIs, so it hasn't been too arduous for us to get set up. But there's also a manual way. So Connect, you'll be surprised, or you won't be surprised, but someone listening might be surprised at how many orgs still use Excel for their HR. So we have... We have so many customers that actually upload a CSV file into Connect, and then all their frontline users have got this amazing app, and
their mind is blown.
But the frontline are like, oh my god, I work in the most amazing place ever.
Have we moved to Apple?
I've moved to Apple. Like, they love it, but actually in the background it's just actually an Excel file that's powering everything. So, and I don't blame those hospitality places, right? Like, sometimes the tech's expensive, sometimes having that process in the
There's a
background.
big trust issue now in the industry around tech. Still, particularly about scheduling, and the scheduling guys are all kind of going, don't say it.
Yeah,
but it's true because people worry. I know a lot of people who have scheduling platforms, but also use Excel alongside it to check the math. I mean, it's madness, right? It is absolute madness. It's like doing your food shop and then doing it again for no reason. But it exists, and I think it's not because these people are stupid. It's because they're smart and they're constantly worried about whether the end of month number or match or whatever it is. And I think that's why when you join it all up, you're going to get this much. Because if I feel like if you see engagement increasing and people doing more, staying longer, spending more, all that kind of stuff ticks along, then all of a sudden some of that trust dissipates away, as in it rises, and you can actually have confidence in what you guys are doing.
Oh, 100%. And a really good client to have a chat to is Ennismore Hotel. So Marcus from there, he's
brilliant.
He's a brilliant man, and he'd be a great person to get on your podcast.
We'll get him on.
I hope he listens. Yeah, but
that'd make 2 listeners if he does. That'd be great. My mum and him.
Oh yeah, hi mum. They've achieved a lot with that, right? So automating everything, so you've got visibility of all the reports. So like I say, we build with the customer. So Marcus is helping us to build out all the dashboards and everything they want. And I think when you get in that level of quality of data, you can start to trust it, right? Yeah. But I totally get your point. People are oh, is it right? Is it not?
It's weird, and AI's come the wrong way around, right? AI came before business got hold of it, people are already in it, and now they're going, oh yeah, but it hallucinates sometimes. How do you know it's going to be right? So I think there's a lot, but as you say, I think definitely it's only going one way. Yeah, it's definitely going to be in our lives a lot. We're going to run out of time. That's standards because I talk too much. I know. Tell us a little bit about how do we get hold of you if we need to kind of reach out, have a chat, particularly about Connect. I need to make sure that Connect is on the marketplace and that we're representing you properly.
Yeah, it is on the marketplace. So it's on the Tech on Toast marketplace, big blue logo with the C in the middle. You can find it there. If you go to connectfrontline.com, that's a dedicated website for everything you need about Connect. Or you can reach out to me as well, right? You can find me on LinkedIn or any of the team.
I mean, and people from New Zealand, right? I mean, I trust all of them. I've only met 6 in my life and they've all been pretty cool so far. So it's kind of a 100% hit rate.
Very good. Yeah.
Those Australians, though, God, don't bother with them.
I know. We don't know. I don't think. Oh, we employ one Australian actually, but we've got.
And what are you doing for Christmas? Are you heading home or not?
Yeah, hopefully heading home. Be good to get some sunshine, I think. And we've actually got an office in Melbourne, so also. Yeah, well, as you do, right?
You're a sellout. It's fine.
Yeah. So the office in Melbourne, it was close enough to home.
It's on its way.
Yeah. New Zealand's not quite as.
So you go back there, and then you're back into it in January. Are you doing all the shows and everything next year?
Doing all the shows. We're with you at the service show. So
great.
Looking forward to that.
We'll
plug you there. Doing all the shows and getting out and about as much as we can. And I hate saying this, but like we're only just beginning, right? Like how people always say, we're only 1% done.
You can't say that 10 years in, can you?
No.
I think,
well, that's Coentric. So Connect's quite new.
Yeah, that's true. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. I got out of that one. But the thing is, like, it's for me, it's just the beginning, right? Like, it's seeing the change in tech when you connect an entire frontline. That's why we started Coentric in the first place. And I'm not saying anything wrong about Workplace and Meta or all the others, but it's the access and the readiness and getting the frontline workers ready on day one. That's where.
And I think your timing's right. I think because as we were mentioning, the tech's at a level that's so good that actually. My sweating tech comment is not happening because people aren't engaged enough with the people are meant to be using it, right? The reason the websites say buy my tech, it'll do this, they're not getting that result because they're not using it because they're not connected. Let's see what I did there. But anyway, look, I appreciate you coming in and I appreciate you stepping in for us at the last minute, which is no mean dismissive.
No, we were booked in for next year.
Yeah, you were coming anyway. We just took an opportunity. But it's great time because we've got the Christmas single promo on this one, so we just made a Christmas
single.
You don't know about
I wondered with these microphones. No, I've been listening to it. I thought it was amazing. But I was worried when I walked in that I was actually going to get roped into singing a verse.
But trust me, if you hang around with me for too long, you will end up on a stage or on a panel or something. Brilliant. So that's fine. But look, thank you very much for coming in, mate. Have a lovely Christmas.
Yeah, you too.
We look forward to seeing you and Connect firing all cylinders in the new year.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.